let's call this to order. It's got a short amount of time.
Okay.
All right, call this meeting to order. It's 5:34-ish. All right, you want to start, Gene, with who's here?
Gene Reed, public member.
Donna Danis, Budget Committee rep.
John Decker, Select Board Rep.
Susan Levinson, school board rep.
Charlotte Fife, public member.
All right, so, did anybody get a chance to look at minutes?
I did. Yeah, I didn't see anything. I didn't have any changes.
Yeah, I kind of looked at them while I was doing other work today, so.
That's what I did
On my
too.
phone, so,
I didn't
you know,
see
sometimes I
anything,
miss
but-
stuff on my phone, but,
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
okay, neither did I, so, all right.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of December 5th, 2024.
Second that?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 in favor, 1 abstention. Okay. All right, so what do we got here for our stuff?
It looks like Ellen made some changes.
Yep, I think she,
Yeah, I did
why, I
notice
think
that.
I left my notes in here.
Which are nicely highlighted.
Yep. So, station replacement planning, 40,000 out. So so the planning piece, wait, is that crossed off?
Oh,
I can't.
so they've completely gotten rid of planning for
Well,
the,
that's what I'm wondering, is like,
Police station?
these,
Or she might be, I mean, is it,
well, I think there's no, we're not going for it this year, so.
I skip.
Hi, Skip.
I think what she tried to do with 2025 was to match it a little close to reality of what the operating budget's gonna look like for this year.
Right, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
But should we push that into 26?
Well,
And we've
she's
got-
got extra in 26 compared to the other years, so is she assuming that the planning and some of the build is gonna start in that year?
I don't know, that's kind of what I saw that too, but it's only 20,000 instead of 40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And there's nothing in 27.
did she explain that in her?
Oh, there's a note here. Yeah, I saw this. Oh, no, that's
No,
yours,
she
that's
didn't
from
put-
you.
She didn't put anything about that.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Huh.
'Cause I don't remember reading anything unless there's nothing here, so.
No. I don't know what to make of that. Can't really do a build without a plan, so.
Well, I know, that's kind of what my thoughts were, is,
Okay, so we've still got a question mark there. Station replacement.
I mean, should that just be pushed to 26 and then the 250 be pushed to 27? Or how did what were we talking, I remember us pushing some of that out, or is that just how much the initial stuff is gonna be?
Did you talk about it in your,
No, we talked about it at one point here.
but did you talk about it in your,
Select
select board meeting?
No. Because it's really not, we're not doing it this year, so. We're not,
So,
there's no money to try and, you know, there's no way we could actually ask for any money because of the
Right,
cap.
yeah.
so 2028, they'll look at the 3.25 million bond?
Right, so that's the bond, so is that and maybe that's enough, maybe that's what it is, it takes care of the planning and whatever the
Yeah, I
first
wonder.
initial costs.
Well, we don't know what we don't know, right?
Right, I think, okay, that's probably fine.
That probably is fine.
All right, the base radio stuff, that's being taken care of.
Okay, so that's going into the operating budget?
There was a grant or something.
Yep.
Or, I don't, it does say operating
Crossed
budget,
out, yeah.
I think it was a grant.
but, yeah.
I thought half of it was a grant.
Well, right, so maybe that's what it is now, is like part of it was grant, we have to
And the-
pay for part of it at operating. But anyway, it's crossed off.
And they're not gonna do a,
Oh, maybe that's the one that's below it, grant.
No, the base radio replacement, she did tell me was coming off because it was a grant. Remember the email that she sent us before last week's meeting? It's either coming out of grant, John, or leftover funds.
Yeah, okay. It's taken care of anyway.
It's taken care of.
Yeah.
In your
Yes.
email here, dated the 9th, it says grant funding, $15,000 base radio
Yeah,
in the email
Yeah.
of the 9th from Ellen, sorry.
Right, so, and that's in this current year, so. Or something, yeah, it's already taken care of. Recycling center, so there's 20,000.
so
So that,
so you're not gonna do a warrant article for,
no.
I'm assuming that's a victim of the cap.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
The recycling center, equipment
Works.
capital reserve fund.
Oh,
That's been eliminated. And going forward, it's just 2,500?
that's what it looks like, yeah. I think this was because they were trying to get that compactor, but I don't know, it's working enough or something, or we did,
Didn't,
yeah.
yeah.
We don't,
Something about
we,
it.
it's not as big of a deal as we originally thought or something, or,
It's a nice surprise.
or we got it, I'm not exactly sure anymore.
John, greater replacement, it says capital reserve, but it's got 464,000 in 2026, is that right? Is there that much in that reserve to cover that?
no.
There's not enough in that reserve to cover that, no. But it only says capital reserve, it probably should say capital reserve slash, warrant. Would be correct to do that,
Flash warrant?
yeah,
That one.
yeah, that should. Red pen. Red pen.
I know.
Although we're considering other options right now, but that's the current, that's what we're moving forward with in CIP.
Okay.
Okay. There's a possibility we may get that this year with other funds.
That's what we're looking
The
at.
greater,
That is what we are looking at.
you're gonna get that much money from some unknown source?
Yes, maybe. We're trying
Can't
to
say,
figure
but
that
he's
out.
hoping.
Yeah,
Are you gonna write a big check, John?
we're all contributing.
You're talking this year?
Well,
Yeah, the upcoming
2025.
We
fiscal
are,
year.
we are investigating avenues to pursue
Legal.
A greater.
Legal, right?
legal. We are pursuing legal avenues to procure a grader.
Well, good luck, I hope that
Half a
happens.
million?
Did you buy a Mega Millions ticket? Is that what that was? or-
I did, but every time I buy them, they're losers.
Sorry I brought it up, Joe.
Just a quick one on that. You've looked into leasing?
We have over different periods of time, and we have leased and we have purchased, it depends on things. But,
And you're gonna be meeting again Monday night?
yes, we're meeting again Monday night. I'm sure the grader will be discussed.
And I haven't found it yet, John, but I believe the grader is 20 years old, not 40.
The current one we have?
Yeah.
40 is-
Oh, yeah, who said 40?
It,
Can't be 40.
No, it's not.
it's been said in the meetings, I think.
I don't remember anybody saying 40.
Doug Bates
But-
posted 40.
Oh, is that what?
Oh, that's
I don't know
what it
where,
is.
Oh, well then.
I don't know where you got that from.
Okay.
Because I don't remember talking about it.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
No, I just,
So maybe that's where you saw
I
it?
haven't found it. I did see it there too.
I'm like, no, I know it's not 40 years old because
Okay, all right.
I remember us getting a new grader at least since I've lived back in town and it's only been 35 years.
Yeah.
Only, you're not from here.
I think it was in the 20-year-old variety, but I haven't found it yet, so.
Thank you for
anyway, go
that
ahead.
clarification, Skip.
Huh?
Thanks for that clarification.
Yes,
No, I'm
yes, it's
serious,
not
I mean,
40.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I knew it wasn't 40.
Alarming if it's 40 years old.
Yeah, that would be a miracle.
Well, yeah,
It would.
it's damn good if it's 40.
Yeah,
I wish.
okay. Sorry.
So the culvert stuff, that's basically the 100,000 is being
Scrub.
grabbed and there's, it's probably not even gonna cost us that amount once we get there because we think that the, highway department can do some of that work.
Great.
Good.
Yep, that's
So,
good.
but we'll just leave that as is for now.
Yep.
John, does this reflect 3 different culverts doing one each year?
It does reflect, I think it's actually 4.
Okay,
Like,
I thought it was 3.
It's 3 listed here.
right, well, it's 3 roads, it's 3 roads listed.
Oh, before culverts.
I believe it's 4 culverts.
Okay,
okay, all right.
2 of them are smaller,
yeah.
which is,
Cooper Hill is huge, but,
and that one we may not have to do because of
Correct.
the whole
State.
state changing that road. So that would be good.
That would be good.
Yeah, that's the summertime.
so is it 800? It, is the total cost $2.5 million? Is that what this reflects?
That was the estimate from the old highway director.
Don't hang your hat on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
Spread out over 3 years?
Correct.
yeah,
Okay.
But, so,
well, it's like each thing, but there's grant funding associated with that too, so,
Okay.
or I believe.
but let's, if we think that that's high, what do you think it is, John?
We don't really know.
Not gonna get
We don't know,
less.
so that was the quotes that we have at this point.
Okay,
So I wouldn't mess with it because that's next year's
We
worry.
just don't know.
okay.
It does say bond. Does that mean it would be the same as the previous one on the station replacement? 20 years kind of thing, or?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. I'm not sure how those are bonded.
Doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it would be. Building you can kind of keep for that, but one storm could wash out the culvert.
The culverts get bonded.
Right now, the bond typically is from, New Hampshire bonds is 20 years at less than 3%.
Well, the reason I'm asking is the item says warrant bond,
Right,
Yep.
but it reflects 3 payments.
well, yeah, but 3 separate, right, 3, that's how much it costs those, right, so it's
But like the,
25,000.
That's why I was asking if it was
Yes.
3 separate things.
It wouldn't be out of pocket that year if it were bonded.
it would be like the station replacement.
It would be spread out
It would be spread out.
across the thing, not as it's
Not
represented
800.
here.
Boom,
Yeah.
Right,
no. Good point.
I'm let's just leave those as is for now because
Placeholders,
they're placeholders for 26. I'm sure we'll know a lot more next year.
and they get your attention.
They
Right,
do.
it does.
See if it holds water?
I hope it doesn't. It's supposed to let the water pass.
Right.
All right, construction, reconstruction, so that is the amount we're looking for a bond for this year.
For asphalt road maintenance
And it's not for a bond, for a warrant article.
or not?
Okay,
Yeah.
so you were
Right.
looking for,
In the operating budget or just warrant article?
I believe it'll really, I'm pretty sure it's all gonna end up to be a warrant article, but
Yeah, we
There was some discussion about putting some in the operating,
Yeah.
but it depends on shim seal coat things, how we, you know. But the other years could be both for funding sources. Highway Department, capital reserve, so that's just put it, the request is gonna be for 70,000.
to go into the reserve fund.
Yes.
Yep.
The library,
Everything's changed
Paving.
there, right?
Everything's changed there.
yeah, so
I missed that last time. I was late.
Wait, I thought she was gonna, so,
I think that should get pushed out.
I thought it got pushed out
70
too.
or
The
the,
minute said that she said no, unless unless Dale came back or the town came back with something related to the cost of doing it. I think that at least push it out.
Well, right, because it should at least include the parking lot paving and stuff like that
It was supposed to be pushed out.
still needs to be pushed out.
Yep.
Not deleted, but pushed.
Right,
The park, right, the ADA piece
that's all
is
up
the
in the
part
air.
that's being pushed for now, or whatever, not
yeah.
kind
Well,
of,
we may have a
kind of
temporary
deleted.
solution. Yeah.
Right, we have
and the
a,
updated lighting though, that wasn't all part of that, right? Talking about that first 100.
Well, repaving the parking lot should have definitely moved out.
right, so that the first 100,000 should be moved out. I don't know when to, though.
Should we stick it in 2026,
Yeah.
kicks and giggles?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
I spoke with Jen Phillips, quote, "This afternoon, 2025 does not appear to be ideal for their requests.
Yeah. We talked about that last time, yeah.
There was much more research conducted before the trustees are prepared to propose the two projects."
I thought we were just taking both 100s and moving them out
I
to
did too.
to
That's what our last
2026.
sentence
Yeah.
says. I did not remove the request, but they should be pushed out to 20, at least till 26.
Yeah.
But she didn't do it on the sheet.
Okay.
That's the.
So they should just both be
Yes.
moved to 2026.
Since Ellen sent us the sheet, do we just want to make these changes?
If you have the sheet?
She sent it to us,
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
so you
so.
can just do it.
Yeah, you go
Yeah.
for it.
Yep.
You have it up, right?
I can.
awesome.
Is it open?
It's,
Branded in?
Yeah, she sent an email.
Editable?
yeah, you can edit it, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
You just
Or you
save
can
a new
save a
copy.
copy.
You save a new copy and edit that, so,
What's it in? Word? I mean, Excel?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what the hell?
Unless you put a,
No, I'm just trying to get into my computer because I can't remember which of the 400 passwords I have.
secret passwords.
The secret, super secret.
There you go. We got a winner.
Okay.
Winner chicken dinner.
So we're just gonna stick that in 2026 for now, right?
Yeah.
It seems like that amount is wrong.
Which one?
$100,000, wasn't it like 25 or 50?
Well, no, because what we were originally looking at was a huge, moving, grading, the whole bit, but it
Right.
looks like we might have an easier solution.
I think
Anyway.
it's gonna be, that's the quotes that they got.
They
Were
did.
they had 50 and 50 for two different things with the, between the walkway stuff. The
Okay,
paving
that-
was like 100,000, but then we put the two 50s together to make it one.
Okay, all right, I got you.
Because it was one project to us.
Yeah, okay.
But depending on how much the highway department can do, that should be less.
Right, okay. I'm with you.
So can we just go back up? Because the only thing we've changed so far is that we said the grader was going to be capital reserve / warrant. Is that right?
That is correct. So you can delete those other red ones if you want, since the red one's above. Since you're-
Just delete those amounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, since you're doing the edit anyway.
Yeah. Okay, and then the 20,000 comes out as well.
Right, so the 40 comes out of police.
Yep.
15 comes out of fire rescue,
Yep.
20 comes out of public works, and then the 100,
The 100 comes out as well.
right,
Okay.
then the 200s in library get pushed a year. All right, so you could actually take out the line for the walking path upgrade because it's less than CIP and is coming out of ARPA anyway so it's actually being funded in 2024. And the playground
Same thing.
shade area, I guess that's not being requested anymore?
Isn't that, is coming out of
Is
the
it coming out of
rec revolving
revolving?
fund?
Oh, it's
Yes.
coming out, okay.
That's in that December 9th missive.
So,
But
do we not include those in the capital improvement?
I believe they should be.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but she also made the note that the walking path is now 6,200, so it doesn't fall under.
Right, but
That one
the
there.
picnic area is 23,000. That's over the 10.
Yes,
I would take and move that out to 26, just,
Is it supposed to be, right, are they pushing it to 26? Is that what it was for rec revolving?
doesn't
I
say.
didn't see
That's
anything
not
about
in
that.
that email that you were looking at, Gene, from
No.
last week?
No, I don't think there was.
No, I
anything
didn't
about
see
that.
anything about that.
It's in there as,
Is it-
from rec revolving shade area, but it doesn't say anything else.
Doesn't say
Right.
moving
But she
it.
crossed it out altogether.
Yeah,
Right, I mean, it was still in our last week's thing.
yeah.
But if she crossed it out, it must, that's not,
That's a question.
Yeah, there's several of them, like that. Walking path upgrade, 29.5. That 29.5, she said, from the rec revolving, but it's a capital improvement.
Which one says 29.5?
Walking path?
Walking path upgrade,
Oh,
29.
right, that was the original estimate,
But it was reduced.
but that was, right, we're doing the path, for 6,200. We're doing work, the town, the highway department's doing the prep work, and then somebody's coming in and putting asphalt down.
Laying it
Right.
down. That's a good savings.
yeah.
And we're paying for it out of ARPA.
That's great.
And is that paving company also gonna pave the part at the end of the gym? The multipurpose room out there?
I don't think so.
I don't believe that's part of it.
I don't think so. I mean,
Isn't that
I thought they
efficient?
wanted to, but.
They're
yes.
here.
It probably would be, but I don't even,
Yeah, I
what
don't
needs
know
to be
why
paved
that's-
over there? Which part?
That-
Where they do basketball and.
Yeah, basketball.
Oh, that little square area that they?
Yeah,
No, that's not being done. I'm not sure why or what, or,
yeah, it does seem
that's,
silly
that's not
to
being
do
done.
it all together.
Yeah. I think that ties in, I think, with the picnic and shade area stuff that they're not doing yet. So, I don't know when the plan is to do that, but it's not getting done yet.
Seems like the equipment's here,
Yeah,
kind of cheap. Anyway. Okay,
I'm not sure there's enough.
so is 23 moving out to 26? 23,000 to 22,026?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I think it's supposed to all be coming out of the rec revolving fund.
Right, but even if it's coming out of rec revolving,
needs to
it
be
should
Still
be
capital
here.
improvement, you're right?
Yeah.
Be accounted for.
Right. That's just a funding source. So that's a question. I don't know what the answer is.
Okay,
All right, so the back of the building, we're not requesting another 100.
Is that project just gonna stop then?
No, there's, I think whatever ends up to be left to button it up, or whatever it was, they were gonna take out of the maintenance fund,
A line item?
out of the maintenance
Operating budget?
maintenance fund,
Fund.
yeah.
But shouldn't that be then once again listed if it's gonna exceed 10K?
It's already part of the maintenance fund. I'm not sure how that is. 'Cause that's a, do we have a building maintenance expendable trust? So there's 18,000 going into that for this year. So there's some money already in there. So that's the last line item in that section.
I'm sorry, where are you?
Oh, under administration, building maintenance expendable trust fund,
Right,
that's gonna be a warrant article for 18,000.
yes.
And then what about so, I'm sorry, the back building is coming out?
Right, that 100,000, there's no request for 100,000. Whatever is needed to finish tying that up for next year or whatever, we're just gonna pull out of the building maintenance
Okay.
expendable.
And then what about the 118 for the solar power?
Can we back up and stay on, just for a second, thank you? Back building, so the project won't be done, so shouldn't something be listed in future years for that?
Well,
We're gonna lock it up or
it's gonna be,
reach a point.
it's, right, it's gonna be buttoned up, but there's no plan defined on what actually is gonna happen yet with that.
No, so that could be something that gets added next year.
Right.
Right?
Okay,
Right, because we don't have,
I just didn't
We
want the
don't-
line
right.
item to disappear at this time.
right, no, no, no.
I mean,
yeah.
the
We
title.
don't have a goal yet for the back area.
Gotcha. So we gotta keep the text there with a zero amount for now, no placeholder in money,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Well, that's a question across the
Right.
spreadsheet. Are we going to do that if something doesn't have any?
We don't have to, because it would just be added back, I guess.
Yeah.
And it might just raise more questions if it's there
Right.
with no
That's true,
dollar amount.
yeah.
That's true. So like, yeah, the solar stuff, we're not doing any of that yet, you know, it's,
Is that,
Can,
the solar, is that time sensitive to contractual agreement?
No,
No, okay.
No.
That's the buyout of the panels.
yeah, well, I talked to Ellen about that the other day, and it has to be determined what is the right way to go in terms of continue to lease or buy out, and her understanding is that we have time to make that decision.
Okay.
She said she thinks it can be made at any point in time, that decision.
can we go back to the community center back building? To me, it seems like if we put 10,000 in 2026, we're not hurting anybody. And it keeps the line open and it keeps at least something for somebody to think about.
sure,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or 27, I mean, I don't care
I like
where it goes, just
that's fine,
I like
Let's
that,
just, let's do it in 2026.
yeah, I like that.
yeah. So that at least kind of start having a plan. No, that's a great idea, because that way maybe we could have to do some engineering or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. No, good idea.
Yep.
Community center parking lot, so there's no quote on that, but that would be a good thing to tie in with like the library parking lot and potentially the little area over there.
yeah. And
And maybe that's what the thought is on that area, is that
I think that's what,
we don't have any quotes though.
that's just out here, yeah.
There's no quotes on that. So I don't know if it's realistic to be in 26, maybe that's, the two paving things should be pushed to 27?
Well, it'll be discussed next year if it's left on the list.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I'm okay with leaving it with a TBD,
Yeah,
because it knows, you know, it just shows
Yeah, at
that,
least it's a placeholder.
right. It shows
It shows
that,
that it's on the radar.
it shows it's on the radar, we don't know how much.
Can we, change the cemetery one too? I'm sorry. I don't think we're gonna pave over north side and
Oh,
south side
yes,
cemetery
correct, yep.
roadways.
No, yes, you're right, I kind of skipped right over that one, because I crossed it out with my little circling
It's
the,
a dead issue.
So wait, does that go to 26?
There you go, Charlotte.
yeah, move that to
Trying to keep up
26
with
too.
the
just
Right,
roadways or something.
right, because we're not gonna do it in 25, it's not on the plan yet, and just more of a, okay. Couple of TBDs out there that we know that we want to get done.
Yeah, thank you.
And solar power is coming off the list, getting deleted, or do you wanna put some amount further out?
It seems to me that the leasing costs should be in here for every year.
Well, I'm wondering what the leasing cost is.
It's gotta be
Is
more
it-
than, gotta be more than 10,000.
Is it? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Right, that's right, exactly, and I'm starting to think is 10,000,
The bond was for 121,000,
what's that?
the bond in 2025.
Wait a minute, in 2025?
That's according to the CIP from
Oh,
2021.
Oh, it's supposed to be paid off in 2025?
that's what.
No, that's when we
it's
would
here.
purchase
Okay.
it.
Thank you, I get it.
Oh, that's when they start charging?
That-
No charge up till now?
It says bond and fund balance.
I don't understand.
So that would be this, the 118 that's here for 2025. They estimated it at 125, not 118, sorry. And that was back when we first did the lease?
I would guess. Well,
Or before.
I don't know when we got that. This is 2021. I just happened to bring one with me for shits and grins.
So it was more of an estimate of when to actually do the buyout of the panels.
Right.
So it's come down a little bit. I'm wondering if the price goes down the longer, the older they get.
Should,
It should, right?
because the
Yeah,
efficiency.
it should.
Right, the efficiency goes down and everything, but,
Anyhow, you're not gonna resolve it tonight.
no.
So, but what do you wanna do there in terms of this?
You wanna kinda move that over to 2026? Even though we don't know what
Sure.
we're gonna do.
Let's put it to like 110 or 1-ish, maybe,
Well,
15?
150.
118 is less, but, yeah, no, whatever you'd like to do. I'm not sure where the 118 came from.
Right, I assume it, I mean, it's less than the 125, so.
115 it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an executive decision.
Right, it's just a wag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these numbers aren't, as Donna clearly wrote.
Yeah.
Just examples.
Guesstimate.
All right.
Okay. Building maintenance, expendable trust, okay. All right. Any other questions on the town part?
No.
No.
All right, move on to school. All right, did this take care of
Who is it, how does this all look
things
to you?
Sue had, 150?
the one change, I think, I need to look at the HVAC again. And the kiln. The kiln has since ceased working.
Oh,
And the parties that can work on the kiln can't come in the near term, but they need to, they're gonna be there on January 13th. So we think the 47 is a reasonable guess, but the walls are gonna have to move because these newer kilns need a little bit more space.
God, it's
So,
always something, right?
About 20,000 for that, and I think that hopefully will cover it, so there's
So-
67 for this.
So what's it push into?
There, when you look at the kiln, you go into the art room and there's an area along the back of it that's broken up into 3 sections: kiln, storage, and then another storage area that's occupied by a person for an office.
Right, I was, knew
So,
that there were people and,
yeah, they're narrow, they're probably like, it's probably like 4 feet. So what we would do is just take the wall
between the, so
between
that
the kiln and
office.
the storage area and move it out. It
Okay,
needs to
and it's
move out.
not like a,
It's not brick. I was in the school the other night when the boiler was having a problem Sunday night. watching it rock, and, I
If it's
decided
just
to
a
walk
regular
around.
wall, 20,000 seems high to pull
Well, it
that
might
wall
be-
out.
It's
Be
non-structural,
careful and push in for,
non-structural wall.
I don't
That's
know.
what,
But
Must
it's
be
probably a
structural.
block wall if you get
There's
the
nothing-
kiln.
block, she
There's
said.
nothing over it
Mm-hmm.
in that section.
No, I didn't
It's
mean
not a
structural
cement block.
block, just fire block kind of stuff for the heat and
But there
everything.
were some,
think so.
vents over it on the other side, and I don't know if those would have
If
to
the
get
vents need
pushed.
to be moved, yeah, okay.
So that was
Yep.
my concern. There were two white ones that were hanging down about this size, not
Oh, I bet it's
recessed.
reworking
Yeah,
some of that, because
Yeah.
20,000 sounds like a lot even for a
It
structural.
does, but you might need a little extra for the kiln itself. 47 is a somewhat dated quote, and then having to do that
so you need to
movement.
bump that
And it will
kiln to
need a
like
different base. It
67.
will also need a different
Bump that up.
base, I believe, to sit on.
So the kiln basically goes to 67.
That's my estimate.
And is that what you're putting in your operating budget?
67?
We're gonna ask for a warrant article on that if we can. If not, we're gonna push the additional into the building maintenance and try to draw it from there.
Okay, so right now it says kiln operating budget, and
Right,
that's,
so I just penciled in warrant article.
so it's warrant article.
Yeah, we're already at 5% of the budget. We don't wanna push more into it.
And so it's warrant article and you wanna bump it up to 67, but it stays in 2025,
Correct, because it's not working.
okay.
It's busted.
And then on the HVAC system, I have various reports, people coming in and taking a look at it. Our current service provider just sent us some detail without numbers, and we had someone present last night with numbers. So based on that, we made about a $20,000 motion last night. And they're telling us that, I think we should move this 75 to 100, keep the air handlers
The
at 150.
2025?
Yeah,
So for HVAC, we've got 75, 2025, 26, 27, so you're saying 100 for each of those years?
yeah, so it would be, I would say 100, 100, 100, and keep the air handlers at 150.
Didn't we cut it back
150
to
how many
75
times?
last week?
We did.
The 150 for the one, the
Well, no,
air
we
handlers
actually
is
added
just
it. It wasn't there
2025.
before.
Okay,
The air handlers is just 2025, right?
Right, we're gonna get those done, that's our next
So
thing.
it's
And how much is that
150,
one?
150.
150.
okay,
Gonna stay the same.
that
So
stays the
that
same.
stayed the same, but then the three HVAC ones all get bumped to 100 for 3 years.
Three of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the estimate that I have here. I've got, install boiler plant control, so that things don't happen that we don't find out about. That's 66, and we funded it out of the building maintenance capital reserve. Made a motion last night. Clean all the strainers in the building, that's 9,600. We haven't done that yet, but I think we're gonna need to, based on what we heard from Palmer and Sicard. Put magnetic filters on each of the two boilers, the brand-new boilers, $10,000. So we said to fund that out of the building maintenance repair, because there's metal coming out of the pipes, and we don't want to get in a position where we ruin the brand-new boilers.
Right.
So that will pull the metal out. Install a bypass filter, $4,000. Do a thorough flush, $45,000. Install smaller glycol system on the air handlers, $55,000. And then from Palmer and Sicard, we're getting, people have to look at the pipes and see how much piping needs to be replaced, so that is an unknown. They told us they've gone into, I don't remember who it was, not Deerfield, Greenland, somebody, Frank, I don't know who it was, 1.9 million.
So,
That better not happen.
so is what we have here in the CIP accurate based
I
on
think these are
everything you?
accurate estimates, and we need to get this done quickly. So the 2025 will have the majority of it in there. I don't think we're gonna know about pipes yet.
So you've got the
But do we need
150,
to throw a WAG out for pipes at some point? Just so that we're trying to look to 6 years, let's
yeah,
kind of
Yep.
throw something out there.
Okay, then let me just share this with you for complete, transparency. This is what I have, I don't know if people wanna look at it, read it to you or whatever, but we were asking questions of our vendor. So they're gonna leave some things that they've created in place. They said it wasn't a permanent fix, but they're gonna make it a permanent fix. It's an air removal system. on the boilers. They say it's working better than the original, so they're gonna leave it. They pulled all the prints of the school. They've got plumbing prints. This will not be a minor undertaking. It will be time-consuming. It will require opening the ceilings of the building, draining the system to remove the old pipe and install new pipe. The components hooked up to the system will need to be flushed to verify they have proper flow, coils, radiators, valves. The prudent thing would be to do this at the time of glycol replacement, which they are recommending happen in the spring. Coming up, so hence we have the 100 there. We want to prevent contaminants. Yes, the pipes are rusting from the inside out. They're saying that, the water quality has intensified the situation. The air scoops are $9,600 on the other vendor's estimate. They're saying the air scoops are not part of a regular maintenance, so we're probably gonna do that, but that'll be this year. And that's about it. We wanna
So
try to take
we don't know how
it,
much the pipes are gonna cost, right?
no,
But they wanna do that with the glycol, so,
they wanna flush the system. And one person, we've done it in the we've done it twice in the past. It was 19,000 once and 7,000 the second time.
yeah.
The third vendor here is telling us, what did I just say, 35 to 45.
There's clearly an issue if they can't,
They take 3 weeks. They're saying their $45,000 flush is 3 weeks.
Sounds like a water treatment plant's necessary.
It's so much maintenance, wow.
it seems like something's not right. Clearly something's not right.
The pipes have glycol in them that is
And that-
acidic.
That should protect the pipes.
What we were told is that, I can't, and I can't remember
No,
all
no,
the
no,
dates and stuff,
I-
but what we were told was that we had acidic.
Base water.
They said what you should really do is flush your glycol out, and then you should manage it, and you have a filtration system on your wall, use it. So we said, hey guys, use the system,
Right.
and we moved on.
Right, I mean, this was just like last year.
Yep.
Right, we said, so we moved on, and then we started having some issues with pipes dripping and glycol and all of that, so we flushed it for 18,000. We rebuilt the boiler, we had pressure issues coming in, so there's a myriad of things not necessarily related to glycol either. We had a new vendor delivering propane, they looked at the tank, and they said, there's a gauge on the tank that needs replacement. Your pressure coming in is too high. So we replaced pressure valves. So, and then the glycol thing raised its head, and they said, you need to treat glycol, you need to keep it non-acidic, and you need to put anti-corrosion materials in to keep your pipes from corroding. And then you get metal in the system.
So, Sue, I don't, so I know you're getting estimates and you still
Yeah.
have to figure everything out.
Yeah, but so what's a good, what do we think is a,
Well, so I'm wondering if like, we've got roof air handlers, we've
Yep.
got HVAC, right? Is there some other way that we need to add a line in here that covers potential for all of these things that you're talking about?
they're all part of the HVAC system.
Right.
It's all part of HVAC,
Yep.
okay.
We broke the roof air handlers out because they were an ongoing thing that we were doing. We had already replaced 6 of them, and they were just part of our regular maintenance, but then the HVAC system became an issue, so we wanted to highlight it separately to be transparent, that we were having issues with
Okay,
it.
so if that all falls under HVAC, is the 100, 100, 100 reasonable?
Well, if we put 150 into the air
So
handlers.
that's 250
and
for
then
next year,
That's,
total for
yeah,
HVAC stuff.
250 for next year, including those air handlers. And the air handlers, honestly, may end up not being the priority if they find that more piping needs to be replaced, so we may
Okay.
switch.
Okay.
So, right, so I think where you're going is, should it just be a single line item for HVAC
Everything.
system, and then you guys could manage
Fold the air
it?
handlers in.
Right, for the air handlers, whatever, pipes, HVAC system stuff,
Yeah.
you can fund this, maybe it needs to be some kind of ongoing capital reserve fund that,
We have a maintenance capital
right,
reserve
I know, but
fund,
maybe
yeah.
the capital maintenance fund needs to have more money put into it
Right.
regularly.
Well, we're gonna have to definitely ask for more this year, and then we gotta roll them and make sure we got enough funding,
But
so.
you also don't have, how much you're asking for the capital reserve fund?
It's not on here.
It's
because
not on
We have
here.
to-
It's out of,
It's out of unassigned
Fund-
fund balance,
right,
and we're in
fund
default
balance, yeah.
budget, so we're gonna have to probably ask to just raise funds for it, and we're gonna have
Okay.
to, when we get some more estimates, we'll roll it and see what we need in it.
Okay.
But we may have to ask for 200, 250.
should we put that as a line item then, if that's what, I mean, but I guess that's really what these are doing.
That's the manner
That's
in
the
which they'll be
250.
funded, that's the
Right.
reason for the draw.
So does it, so what John just said, does that make sense? Let's make it HVAC systems.
Yep.
And make it 250 next year and 100 each year after. Does that make
I
sense,
think it
Sue?
should definitely be front-loaded into 25 and potentially 26. And my gut is telling that maybe those air handlers would hit 26, and the pipes are gonna be the issue.
Okay, so,
So do
but,
we need like 250 and 250?
Maybe we do 300, and then a little bit less, 300 and 200, and then keep the residual 100. So 300, 200, 100, something like that. And if it's overestimating, that's okay, but I think the community really wants to make sure that it's funded, or so we're hearing.
okay, so we're going to delete the whole roof
The
handlers.
roof handler,
line.
yeah, fold the
Right.
150 into the HVAC line,
Yeah,
make that 3, and then go 200 on 26 and 100 on 27, and hope to goodness it's done for less than that.
everybody good with that? Yeah, just,
That sounds better than what was there before.
Right,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the fund, so that, at the end of the year, you can fund it so much with anything that's left over in the budget? Is my memory failing, or is that,
That's
There's that,
the building maintenance.
is the building maintenance, but there's another fund that's that emergency fund that we can do up to 2.5% that the state gives school districts, so that you can carry money over for emergency. And
you had a surplus, I don't mean you, but the school had a surplus last year, didn't they, on the budget?
we had a surplus of 909, we ended up with, in September, we found out that we had that. In the time we're making these decisions, we thought we had 360,
So you, okay, so you verified you got 9.
right?
Can you use that for any of this?
No, we actually had more than 9, we pulled 200 toward that fund. But it's an emergency fund that has to be approved by the budget committee, by the commissioner, and you have to be in dire straits. I think you have to have
To spend from
overspent.
it.
Yeah,
So where does it go, back to the general fund?
yep.
Or it stays there, actually, right?
It'll roll back, so it should have a better impact next year.
Taxes.
It'll offset some of the impacts that are gonna happen from the 909 that are good this year and may not be good next year.
The 909?
The 909 went back and had a positive effect on the tax rate.
Right, that's why we
That was
got,
a surplus, the 909,000.
That's why we get a
Right.
tax break.
right, that's why the tax, well, that's why the taxes went down $1,
Because of
Yeah,
the,
next year.
because the surplus returned from the school.
and you applied it to offset the taxes?
They have
had
to, they can't carry
State
it,
does.
they can't carry
See, we can't
surplus.
carry it, so that's why we have that other special fund that we can carry
To
for
percentage.
emergency, but only for the year, and it's, you can do 5, but we negotiated at one point with the budget committee for 2.5, put it on a warrant, and that's what we have. So
Okay,
we
so-
did 200,000, just
So
a
in the
flat 200.
computation of what is it, the
Yeah.
M1 or something?
Yes,
Yeah.
Then there's the offset,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
the budgetary needs.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So, Sue, you just said something about the capital reserve funds. They're not identified here as they used to be, but is that because you, because of the way the budget process works?
I mean.
Because it's funded through surplus?
I'm sorry, I'm not
No,
understanding.
no, they have a capital reserve,
Maintenance,
maintenance,
Right.
or building repair capital reserve, and they have a grounds improvement capital reserve.
right,
And it's, well,
And
The grounds
sometimes-
is 15,000, the other one's 35, the way it's been in the past CIP, so.
We've got a balance on it here that just came to us. It's higher than that, but we have referenced them before for use.
Well, what I'm saying is, you didn't add it in here as an item.
I think it's not added in the CIP anymore because it's funded from
It's a source.
the source, it's now
Not
a
a warrant
source, but it's not a warrant, it is a warrant article, but it's funded from
Unassigned.
unassigned fund balance.
But how
So
is
it's
that-
not actually raised additionally.
But how is that any different than you guys having solar power system here that's 115 with the source identified as fund balance?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that isn't any different. You are correct.
Yeah, and so we just identify what we think are the potential sources, and it could be capital reserve, operating budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, but it seems like there should be 2 more lines in here, at
Right.
least for the capital
Right.
reserve
If
funds
one-
that you have.
If one's gonna be there, the other ones
Exactly.
should be there.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I don't know why they got, I mean, obviously they were in that year,
That year, yeah.
but they weren't in last year's.
Which one are you looking at? The 2020?
2021,
2021 is the town report for 2021. I just grabbed one of my things.
Just grab one that was sitting on the top.
Yeah.
That was a lucky number.
Here. 2023. Wait a second. Solar panels. Yeah. So, all right, so 2023 had solar panels in it as a placeholder. It didn't have a source. So maybe you guys identified that as a source from. No, it still says, wait a second. Where are you looking at that?
Well, he's on 20.
He's at 2021. You're in 2023.
No, I know that, but, no,
No, I'm just looking at the bottom of the CIP itself,
where are you looking?
and it includes those 2 warrant articles.
Surplus?
on this spreadsheet, under administration, line 52, we just changed the 118 in 2025 to go to 15 in 2026, and as a source, it says
That's
fund
under-
balance.
Administration. That's under administration, so that's ours, that's the
Yeah, that's
towns,
you.
not the schools.
Correct.
I thought it was, we were looking at the school
No,
one,
it's-
which is why I was so confused.
No,
Okay.
that's my point, if
Okay.
the town's
So
doing it.
why, that's a great question. Was it down here, last year? So, last year, solar panels says bond, fund balance. Like, what fund balance?
The unreserved fund balance.
So do like they do, like a warrant article that says, if there's fund balance, then pay for it?
Well,
instead
Right, it's-
do you have to have voter approval to take money out of the fund balance?
well, no,
Depends how it's written, but I believe
think
the
they do.
authority, to voter approval for fund balance. You have a
just a
fund
line.
balance policy that you can usually spend out of it, right? As long as it's undesignated. You have to have those fund balance policies that show things that are designated and they can't be touched. And then undesignated can be utilized. And a BOS and a board have authority to expend from capital
Right.
reserves based on the warrant article.
and we can do line item changes.
Yeah, you can
It's
do
in the
that.
budget, yeah.
Yeah, you can do
As long
that
as it's in
easy.
the budget, so that's why fund balance is really not a source, I guess.
Well, it is, because you guys can take money out of fund balance.
that other fund balance.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said unreserved fund balance.
So the money that you're
Okay, got
saving
it,
under the
yeah.
whole general fund piece.
Correct, yeah,
that
yeah,
you're
yeah.
building
But
in.
no, to do that, you still have to,
It's
you-
kind of unclear in a way, though, because fund balance can be it can be shown in different ways. Unassigned fund balance can roll to a capital reserve.
So, but let's think about what's the
it's
purpose of
different fund
this?
balance.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of this? The purpose of this is to, I'm just saying this, correct me if I'm wrong, but the purpose is to identify major capital expenses, which we define major as over $10,000 over the next 6 years, and then how are we going to pay for that?
Right,
So, to me, fund balance would be a legitimate
yes,
source.
yes. Now I'm picking up what you're putting down now.
You need to eat some of that food.
I didn't wanna eat it in, well,
Oh, yeah.
are we on TV or just on
Recording.
recording?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
Both.
Well,
Both, I think, yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, John.
yeah, no, I don't wanna eat in
We
front
don't
of
wanna
it.
cause a brouhaha.
I know. And I thought I had to stay later, so I can eat it on my way home.
It's a nice greasy looking bag.
I ate most of it on the way
Wendy's
here.
is the best.
It's at least something that's not as salty as some of the other ones.
So we're okay with where we are right now? We think?
Well, the question is, should we put,
It's kind of the
Do
same
we-
as, it's kind of the same as the ambulance replacement, right? Cause that's $350 in 2028, but it says capital reserve is where the money's coming from.
right, but, so you're talking about, so the school ones, the school warrant articles that basically are from balance left over,
Yeah, your unassigned, undesignated fund balance.
right, which is different than the fund balance that we're holding on to.
Your overhead type of, when you overlay, right, when you put monies toward that in,
No, overlays is different, cause overlay is for emergency,
all right, okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, but that's not the same fund balance.
Well, for us, we have capital reserve
Okay,
funds
okay.
that can be funded through unassigned fund balance, and we put them in the order in which we'd like them funded, and they
Right.
roll through until it's expended.
Right,
Unless we write a warrant article that says we're going to raise and appropriate, in which case we have a tax impact, because we have to fund it more than we think we'll have in unassigned.
So you have a bucket of money at the end of the year and.
Potentially,
we-
yeah.
In theory,
In
okay, you
theory.
have a
In
bucket of
theory.
money at the end of the year, and you have identified projects that will come out of that pending how much there is.
If we say we're gonna do it
If-
from capital reserve, we're kinda looking at the current
But it's not
balance.
capital reserve,
No.
it's not really capital reserve, because capital reserve is a specific,
Well, on all of these, we're saying,
That's what I thought these were capital reserves.
I think on the HVAC, we should just not use that word. Fund balance.
yeah.
I would just take it out, because I think
Is it
that's
all,
what's confusing.
if we have some unassigned fund balance, we might use it, but that's sort of that would be kind of unusual. So it's gonna be warrant article, capital reserve fund.
okay, so you wanted to say, warrant article, capital reserve fund?
Yep.
Okay.
And I don't think there's gonna be a lot of fund balance, cause the default is gonna be tight, and we've incurred additional costs big time.
Oh.
Just high school has added 100,000, cause we had 11 move-ins.
Yeah,
Yikes. So warrant article, capital reserve fund, and it's gonna be $100,000 in 25, 26, and 27.
We're gonna do 3, 2, 1.
three, yeah.
Oh, sorry, okay.
It's okay.
How did I miss that?
We've been
All right.
making a lot of moving numbers.
So now we go back to the, two other funds that you mentioned that get funded if you have unassigned,
The capital
Surplus.
reserves, yeah.
well, no, they're two different things.
Okay, well, what are you,
So what I'm thinking is, capital reserve is, okay, we set up the, ambulance fund. that's a capital reserve fund, right?
Yep, yep.
Whereas I think what you're saying is, it's a bucket of money at the end of the year these things might come from.
No,
Well, it
no.
goes into a capital reserve fund.
No.
But it's coming from,
It comes
So
from
the
whatever
right, so the
leftover
source of
budget.
funding those funds is your unassigned,
Yes, the way the typical warrant article is written, you have $1 million budget, you spend 600, you got 400 left
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
For capital reserve funds that already have balances, and you write warrant articles to ask for 100,
So,
unassigned fund balance.
right.
And then we have another,
Right,
So maybe it is confusing to put it here because
right,
It-
'cause
it's
it's
a-
already,
it's a-
it's
it's a-
already raised as part of the operating budget.
well, sure, all of the,
well, I think
anything that's
we're,
coming from a capital reserve fund has
we're saying
already.
we wanna use our capital reserve funds, the balances that are currently there, and we wanna try to fund them sufficiently to cover it.
yeah,
Yeah.
You get it.
And we have that emergency fund that Jean spoke about. That's, tries to, is similar to what you guys end up having.
I mean, it's almost like if you were being accurate, like one of your funds was at the building maintenance.
Yep.
yeah.
So if you're being 100% accurate, it would be building maintenance capital reserve fund, source,
Yep.
unassigned fund balance if available. Right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Would-
exactly.
Would be the right way of saying it.
Right, and the unassigned fund balance, and theoretically, not theoretically, is gonna fund the capital reserve.
So the question is, do we want to put that in here since it comes from the unassigned fund balance,
It
which,
can come from there, yeah.
right, so do
But
we,
it seems
But
like the
we-
warrant article should be worded that way.
Right, the warrant article, but we may have to beef it up more than we anticipate, unassigned fund balance, and we've done that before, where we have a tax impact, we say it, and we're raising and appropriating funds to put in. So that can happen too, and we may
Right.
do that this year.
okay,
All right, so here's an example. To see if the Nottingham School District will vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $20,000 to be added to the Capital Educational Capital Reserve Fund previously established. The sum is to come from June 30, 2023, unassigned fund balance available for transfer on July 1. No additional amount to be raised by taxation.
Right.
so is that how all of your
That's
capital
how most
reserves?
of, that's how yours are, that's how all capital reserves are, aren't they?
No,
Well, that's how
No,
all
not
of
the
ours
town
are.
ones, but
not the
school-
town,
The school
I
ones.
get it,
Was 22,
Okay, thanks for
this is 21, and it's in here written that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been that
And-
way for,
We
22.
did have one or two, though, that we went
Right.
outside of that and
Right.
asked for an actual tax impact.
Right.
And you have to tell people that.
right, exactly.
right.
And
Yeah,
that's the difference, is
I
that,
get it,
Yeah, and then the whole argument comes that people say that's no tax impact because it came out of the unassigned fund
Right.
balance, but the argument can be, well, it is, because if you
Yeah.
rolled it over,
right.
it would help the tax.
Well,
No
but-
future tax
Right.
impact.
well,
Yes,
no,
the
well,
timing.
the way I said it was net new, there's no net new tax
Net-
impact.
Right.
net new,
Correct.
yes.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, so the question on the table, since contributions to those funds potentially could come from the unassigned fund balance if it's available, do we want to include that in this CIP, or do we want to just leave them out?
I think we should just, I personally think you just leave it at capital reserve because it's understood
Because
based on
the
the warrant articles, how they're
the
funded.
administration of it, you're well aware, and the school board's well aware how to do it.
Yeah, by law, we have to do it the way that
Yeah.
you conform to the warrant article.
So if,
This is a recommendation to the school, so we're recommending what they already do.
so if we put building maintenance capital reserve fund
As a,
then-
right, as a
as,
source.
well, no, I mean,
Oh,
it's the
As a-
As its own
contribution.
line,
item, it's,
for
item.
own line.
$15,000 for the years going out,
And so that's $15,000 every year.
or something like that.
okay.
And then what, so what do we put under source, just, I mean, it doesn't make sense to say,
Warrant article, it's a warrant article.
but then that implies net new taxation.
Unassigned fund, I mean, I guess you gotta put unassigned fund balance.
Maybe you could do like unassigned
Oh.
fund balance / capital reserve fund, because the funds are gonna be mixed.
No, it doesn't
Well,
make
no,
sense.
no,
We're
no.
not
for the-
spending this, we're raising this
But
now.
this is for the,
Oh, for the raising,
Right, for the
this is for the
raising.
other block,
Yeah.
the sourcing?
Two
Okay.
new blocks.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Hang on 1 second. Okay, and what was the second one, Sue?
Grounds improvement.
Yeah.
do we still do
But I
the
don't think
books?
we're gonna be anything for, let me see here. Oh, the roads and sidewalks around the building, that's operating budget.
But that,
Not until 27.
Parking lot resurfacing would probably, might be grounds improvement.
Well, those all are listed as separate warrant articles.
Yep.
So is,
So they-
I
what
can't,
about
we
like-
don't, we can't use grounds improvement for anything inside the building in terms of HVAC.
no, but that was like for upkeep of the ball fields and some of
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we're limited on that.
I mean, are we gonna put all these capital reserve funds in there? That are from the unassigned fund balance?
I mean, that's a really good question.
Because they got the textbook one, you know, it's like,
But no, those aren't
But
gonna
those-
be used to fund
I mean-
capital projects.
Those aren't,
They are
those
part
aren't
of
capital
this.
improvements.
right,
So you, the special education one is not special, is not
Right.
capital.
No,
The only two that I saw were the building, repair and the grounds.
yeah, the reason for these funds is just to try to smooth out
right,
Of course,
expenditures.
yeah.
right.
All right, so if we're putting building maintenance, capital reserve fund, unassigned fund balance, 15,000 per year. For grounds improvement, same thing, unassigned fund balance, but how much are we putting?
Let me get that, let me pull that, where are we?
I think it was 35.
Was that 3,500 per year?
Yeah. Those were the lower numbers, yeah.
Capital reserves, Benevolent Trust.
Yeah, 35.
Okay.
Third, yes?
Oh, I'm sorry. 35 for building repair.
That's the same at building maintenance we just,
So it had
Yeah.
50 in last year's.
Building repair is, I guess, what it's called.
okay.
And then 15 for the grounds improvement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right, but you're talking about the amounts that were in the 20 something?
Yeah, but it goes out to 2028.
Why is
Well, this one had,
Well, I think we
grounds
had
improvement more than building repair?
hang on,
I'm sorry, what,
Say that again?
Why would grounds improvement be higher than building
repair and
repair?
maintenance.
No. No.
Oh, that's just put,
Building repair is the 35.
35,000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it, got it.
okay. I
so,
thought you said
wait, so last
Oh, sorry.
year's was 50,000 for building
that we
repair,
put in,
right?
that we raised, and that one wasn't that written differently?
No, this is the one that, oh, did you guys put this one in automatically? To be added to.
And then skip.
Last year's
current
wasn't
balance,
even,
yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah,
even
last
on.
year's was
These numbers
50,000, oh,
change,
last year,
you're making-
We
did this one,
didn't
Uh,
have-
That's
there-
a new line.
Wasn't even on there.
right, did this
Area.
one pass?
It's getting
Did
some
pass?
area, permits,
So they're all,
errors, so I'll go
they're
back,
all-
I'll go
they're-
back and fix
they're
that.
all spreadsheet linked,
It's,
should be.
So last
should
year's
be the
passed for
spreadsheet.
50,000.
Right, and that was different,
just
that did
noticed
not
it.
say
Right.
to be
Looking at the
taken
old
from
one.
the year-end
Somebody's,
fund balance.
usually
Right,
was-
so that's why that one should definitely be in
Because we
there.
wanted to make sure that we got that
And
extra
the whole
And that did
purpose
pass.
for that was
Yeah,
because
with
wanted to
hindsight, we should have
highlight
taken
this.
that out.
I know.
What is that?
that represents
Yeah,
net new taxation.
Oh, okay. Because
So-
I didn't see a title, that's why I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
ask.
know, I know. So what I was trying to show there is that, are we trying to keep net new taxation level?
that stuff's straightened out
That
now.
was the purpose
Mm-hmm.
of that.
Is it straightened out now?
But I have to go back and correct that at the bottom, the calculations.
Okay,
All right, so building repair fund, 35,000 each year, and then ground improvement is 15,000?
Where do you want that to be
So
50,000?
how are we, can I just understand how we're coming to 35 on building repair?
Should have been 50, or it was 50 last
It
year.
was 50 last year, so we need to bump it up. It was 35 and 21.
Oh, no, I'm just, what is the question, I guess I'm trying to, are you showing it going out of the fund, or what are you?
No, we're just showing it being saved,
From the
being
down-
held as a capital.
Are you asking, is
So-
that we're gonna put on the warrant to fund it?
I have no idea.
Are you putting 50 this year?
Oh, here we
on
go.
that warrant?
I think we're gonna try to get a sense in the next week about what these expenditures look like and then fund it, and it's gonna be higher than 35.
So that's gonna be, but that's gonna be, so, but you're gonna
35 is
take the
a no-go.
HVAC out of that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the one,
So that's where it becomes the HVAC system.
that's the building repair that will fund it.
HVAC comes out of the building room.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So the building
Yeah.
repair, they'll be asking for the 300,000.
See, I thought we were just taking this sheet and adding up the various sources and putting them here. What are we trying to do now?
Well, see how we have the
Yeah,
capital reserve funds in here?
yeah, and you're just trying to say how
We're,
it's,
right, we're just trying to make sure that we capture the capital reserve fund here. But if it's basically gonna be the HVAC is all capital.
Wait, no, here's a question. Are you planning to, one, put money into the fund, and then two, take money out of the fund?
yes,
So those are two separate lines.
correct. And then third, we're also planning that we may write a separate warrant article entirely that says to raise and appropriate X amount for the purpose of replacing XYZ.
And that's beyond the HVAC system we just
Correct,
talked
so
about.
HVAC says warrant article / capital reserve funds, so we may do it out of current capital reserve funds, or we may have to add an additional warrant article.
Okay, but the cost doesn't change, because the fact that it says warrant article / capital reserve fund says those are the two sources you're looking at.
Right,
To the extent that's possible, you're gonna take it out of the capital reserve fund.
correct,
Okay, so, but again, I go back to, you're looking to do two things. One is to put money into the fund.
Right.
And two is to take money out.
and that's where the roll comes in, here's our current balance, add X to take out Y,
Yeah, but,
balance.
yeah, but that goes back to our 35 and our 15. If building repair fund, you are putting 35 in each
Yep.
year, and that's coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Yep,
Grounds improvement, same thing, but that's 15,000. Okay, so those lines belong there. But then the HVAC is a separate line, and that says warrant article / capital reserve fund. And that's still the 300, 200, 100.
right,
Okay.
so that's gonna be $600 draw over, 600,000 draw
Over
over
3 years, correct.
Yeah.
But it's, so basically, what we did was, we took out roof handlers. We've added, consolidated
HVAC.
that all to HVAC.
Yep,
And then we're adding in those two other, fund deposits
Right.
as two separate lines,
Separate lines,
yeah,
right?
okay,
okay?
yep.
Yeah, it's
So,
That's
John,
like a little double, but
what you were saying is the school put in warrant articles to fund the capital reserves fund, at least one of those at 50, right?
last year's, yes.
Okay, but it wasn't in the CIP.
Correct.
We're just trying to add it into the
Right,
CIP.
right.
Okay. What they
Yeah.
choose to do for a warrant article, that's
Yeah.
up to them.
Right.
Yeah, I know, which is why I was going to the 50 instead of the 35.
Yeah, we thought that the account was too low, and we wanted to step aside from unassigned
Yeah.
fund balance and just raise and appropriate with a tax impact to make sure it had funds.
So do you want to make the 35, 50 all the way across?
I can do that.
Okay.
We've got 10 minutes before the
Right,
budget committee.
Right, I know, we want to talk about your thing that was really good.
I thought it was
Yeah, I
great.
thought it was great.
Loved
I-
it.
Yeah, I did too. I really liked it. I probably had a couple of suggestions. Let's see if I can remember them. Because of course I couldn't take notes on my phone.
On the second line,
Yep,
I'd suggest using the word, inserting the word major, such as major building repairs.
yep,
And I think this, second paragraph, top line, point in time, snapshot, sounds redundant, so I just kept snapshot.
Okay.
I didn't know if we wanted to, like that last line of the first paragraph, say something that it's a function of planning and should be considered as part of the master plan. Something like that, is that right?
It also ties to impact.
I'd just leave it alone.
Yeah, okay.
I hear what you're saying, but
Too much?
since we haven't really maintained the master plan.
I know,
Yeah.
but, right,
Don't bring
but,
it to
all right, so we can think about that for next year maybe,
Oh, yeah.
or whatever.
Accurate, but
Okay.
too much information.
Okay,
I have one on line 3. It includes items over 10, et cetera. It includes capital items over $10,000.
yes, yeah, actually, that's great.
With a, and a lifespan of, I forget whether it's 3 or 6 years. The 6-year period is the look forward part.
Right,
Yeah,
Qualification to be a capital item is essentially 2 things, the cost and the lifespan.
do you know what that is?
It is 3
I-
years.
Three
was it
years?
3 years?
Really?
Yeah, and that's actually defined by us.
Oh,
It was defined by us like years ago, so that's one of the points I was gonna make. We maybe wanna bump that 10,000 up at some point.
Could be.
Again,
I know we can.
It could be
but
20.
It could, it maybe should be
some
20.
cities,
Yeah,
Right, and, you know, I was just, as we were talking about dollars and stuff earlier, I was gonna say that, but the
yeah.
the direction
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
changed.
I thought you were going there.
So I wouldn't do that now.
Thank you.
But something
I
for
was gonna
next
say
year.
next year, right?
Do you have other comments?
just the qualification thing and that the plan looks forward for 6 years. That's by statute, or by suggestion, I forget
Okay.
which.
Yeah,
Might be by statute. Because we had that discussion early on
yeah.
and she changed it. Thank you. Oh, minor, quote marks, the first thing, capital improvement.
Oh,
You got ending quote marks, but not beginning.
stop it.
That's it.
That's great.
Why is capital plan important? I first wrote that as capital improvement plan, but I think you just use CIP. Same thing underneath. A CIP is critically important because it,
Where are you?
the third paragraph-ish, kind of.
Oh, the capital plan is critically important.
Yeah, he said, you know, it says, why is a capital plan important? And
Yeah,
he
yeah.
suggested just why CIP.
You're so fussy.
No, I like picky.
When you ask to comment, I will. The third bullet, and this could be a fourth bullet, but I kind of think they both go hand in hand, provides the proper preparation necessary to determine the most economical means of financing a project. I also added, and the most efficient method for combining projects.
Ah,
Would it suffice to just say the most economical and efficient
I need to
means?
clean, I need to
I
clean
tried
up
that, but
1 minute.
then it's a
On
financing
the,
project.
on this one, everybody that
I looked at it as
participates, I put
combining
it
project.
in department
No, I
heads.
understand,
Up to
yeah, no,
you
I
though,
understand where you're going.
okay.
because that's where
Oh,
we
the
get
first
their
thing?
requests.
Right.
Yeah, I did
Right.
put, the next paragraph says, based on information provided by the boards and department heads.
Whatever,
So,
your choice.
yeah, I got what you're saying on that.
Yeah, however that plays out. It could be a separate bullet, or, I tried to put it in, as Charlotte said, as one thing with efficient in there, but
Didn't
it
really
doesn't
get the
work.
meaning.
Yeah, it's like the paving that we're talking about, right?
Right,
exactly.
We Save money by combining projects.
Projects.
Is that gonna be distributed before the next meeting?
I will
This-
resend it, yes, 100%.
Do we,
Oh,
right,
The last paragraph, oops, one third, the sentence that says typically, the
Yeah.
boards use the CIP to, and I added in a colon. First dot, incorporate projects into the operating budget. Second, colon, list of proposed warrant articles.
Yeah,
Third one, evaluate projects for growth planning. And to develop / modify impact fees.
great.
No, those are great suggestions.
Very good, yeah.
And then, so what that does, seemingly from that point, deletes the rest of that paragraph.
Okay, so you wanna take out the whole thing about what the board can do because of the 4% tax cap?
Yeah, typically the boards, and I would think in parentheses, it should be select school and planning.
Okay,
Maybe selectmen, well, I get that, selectmen, school, planning. I think that's the three, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because the 4% tax cap really shouldn't be considered as part of the
Yeah, I
capital.
don't,
It's not really,
the only reason you're right,
Yeah.
yep, you're right.
it's factual.
right, it's
Yeah.
factual, but it's really outside of the CIP's scope.
Yeah.
Yep.
And could you put an A as the third letter in my name?
Oh, that's right. Mine has the two E's, not the I. So it's Leve.
I didn't check the spelling of my name, I hope it's right. Did you put an A?
I was gonna keep it that way so nobody would know who it was.
Okay,
All
so
right,
did you
when-
want your phone number taken out too?
All right,
Hey, just one other thing is, as we were talking about like the culvert, I do want to put a clarification in here about, as time goes on, you know, if things are put out by bond, those lines would be broken out by bond payments, not the one lump sum.
in.
Because we
the-
talked about
into-
that
Right, into your.
into
in the
this,
Spreadsheet?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
just
the
a-
spreadsheet, the
No, just a
document.
clarification on
Okay,
that.
yep, no, that makes sense. When is our next meeting? I mean, I think we should be able to wrap this up.
One question I did have though is, we also talked about, in the very beginning, we talked about the fact that ideally, one of these plans might have some kind of a prioritization against it. Do we want to take this to that step, or is it basically prioritized because of the way it's broken out over the years?
I think we considered that by moving some stuff out, but, I mean, we can, if we think we need to move things around a little bit more, I mean, I guess we could probably do that a little bit next meeting, if we, you
Yeah,
know, I think we got everything that we know of,
yeah.
and
So-
we could assign some priorities or whatever.
Yeah, so I think one of the reasons I had asked for Ellen to break it out with the tax impact below is so that we could see how level.
Right.
And it's fairly level.
Except for this year.
Well,
Yeah,
this year has
it's
come
kinda-
down from 79 to 63.
I know, but now it just went back up again,
Yeah.
No?
Some of them.
with 300,000 in the,
Well, yeah, but this didn't have the library stuff pushed out.
right,
That's true, yeah.
And we just removed,
so it might be pretty close.
yeah, it's gonna be pretty close. So that was,
So maybe we may be good,
yeah,
so, because we did move things around because of what,
yeah, correct.
It's looking better.
Some discussions.
right,
Yeah,
and that was just more of a wag as opposed to looking at those actual things.
yep.
So when do we want to meet next meeting?
What do we have to do?
I think just finalize this and maybe look at priorities, it shouldn't be very long,
Okay.
you know, just. I think we got probably a little bit more in the weeds today than we expected to.
I think it was all
Oh,
right
it was
though.
good, yeah.
Right, no,
Yeah,
it was
very
good,
helpful to
I'm not
me.
saying it was
Yeah.
bad.
No, I know, but it was helpful to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was confusing.
So, so next week is Christmas.
Next week's Christmas.
And Hanukkah.
And I think at this point, we don't have to be done until it gets published, so I think we're good enough for budget and stuff, because we got this year's stuff kind of ironed out.
Well, you don't have a select board meeting in the next couple of weeks. We have
We
a,
have one,
Oh.
Monday.
We do
Oh,
plan.
Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
Spillover from the last one.
Yeah,
Ah, right.
The marathon.
We also have budget committee on the second, I think, right,
Yeah.
Charlotte? So we could do it on the second before.
so
Yes, again.
it's fine with me.
Does
Does that
the
work?
budget committee want a finalized CIP? I
I
think
will
they do.
ask, I will
don't they?
ask them in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think they do,
I think they
They
should.
do, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
That's why I always question is how does it get back to these various boards, but I guess the reps from.
Great.
will
Exactly.
bring it
Yeah,
back.
hopefully. Yeah.
So then, do you want to do it on the second?
That's, I'm okay with that. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
No,
No?
No,
Is that bad for you?
well, it's great for me. I'll be traveling
Hey,
until
Do you-
March.
Okay,
geez.
and so, all right, so,
From
so,
me, Argentina.
so we're not, March is too late, so,
You'll,
I'm done.
right.
you'll get everything.
Except if you want to do Zoom,
Right. We're gonna zoom you in.
You'll get copies
Okay.
of everything so you can comment before
Right.
you take off.
Right, okay, yeah, that would be perfect.
but just to let you know.
Okay, that sounds great. Everybody
Okay,
good with the
wait.
second except for Jean?
Yeah,
Yes.
5:30 again?
No, I don't think we need 5:30, because if we're going before the budget committee's at 7. I don't,
So
do
we
we
can do
need an
6?
hour and a half? I
I don't think so.
Probably
6
not.
is probably
6
fine.
o'clock?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock on the second.
You guys are messing with me now.
I know, we are.
What time you'll be here?
I would like to make a motion that we
Make a motion.
adjourn.
All right,
Oh, I second that.
All in
Yes,
favor?
all right, all in favor? Aye.